I think the ICU nurses like James and the other nurses I work with, they have that compassion. They want to be there for that patient, but they also like that intense environment, and they thrive on that. What's the alternative? Who's going to do it? I mean, we were already at a shortage of nurses as it is, and these are your colleagues, these are your neighbors, these are your fellow community members. There's no other alternative. They came to work, they put themselves in harm's way, they knew the risk, they limited exposure to their family, they modified their life at that time, but they still come to work and they provided the top-notch, compassionate care that everyone expected them to provide. James' story is everyone's story.
My name is James Bamber, and I'm a critical care nurse. I knew I always wanted to take care of people. When I was in undergrad, I was an EKG technician at a hospital here in Baton Rouge. I saw that the nurses, just what kind of impact they had on their patients. I said, hey, that's what I want to do.
He puts his patients above all else, which is what majority of those nurses in there. But James does it with flair.
My husband is James, and we have been married almost 10 years now. He's quirky, he's funny, he's kind and caring. He's very good at what he does. He loves his patients, and it shows, and they love him too.
Never for a moment did I ever feel like he was a guy doing a job. He was my partner, day in and day out, in fighting for my husband's life. I know he wouldn't have survived without all the care, but I'm not sure if I would have either. The something extra is the feeling you get that this is more than just what I do. This is who he is. Administering the technical care, he would explain it not only to me, but he would talk to Paul as if Paul was going to talk back.
I truly believe without Oshner and without James and a few others that I wouldn't be here today. I don't consider James a nurse. I consider him my family.
Being in the ICU is not always rewarding. Seeing the patient come in who is very sick and we get them through and then they walk out. And it's everything. That's what keeps us going.
So the beginning of March, when we first started hearing about COVID-19, James and I sat down and, started discussing, what our game plan would be. We were due to have Andrew the next month. And selfishly, we wanted to be together.
A lot of emotions. Obviously, we were scared. We didn't know what this virus was about and how it was going to impact us.
James was taking care of COVID-19 patients. And at that point, we just didn't know. People were getting very, very sick from it. And with me being pregnant, we just decided that it was best to separate for a little while. So
my sister and brother-in-law opened up their house to me, which was awesome. I was with them for about a month and a half during the whole thing. It was tough, but like I've always said, it was the sacrifice that we made was nothing compared to what the patients and families going through this had to endure.
So probably about 1:30 in the morning, I called him and I was like, okay, this is it. I'm going to the hospital.
I immediately threw clothes on, just whatever I had, and I woke my sister and brother-in-law up, and she's saying, well, what do you want me to do? And I said, there's really nothing we can do, but I just feel like, I have to be there.
One of my very good friends was my midwife taking care of me. We pulled up, she was waiting with a wheelchair, and that's when I think the reality of everything kind of sunk in. I'm really here by myself at this point,
I'll never forget, my mother-in-law called me whenever she dropped Katie off at the hospital, and she said, Lauren looked me in the eyes and said, I'm gonna stay with her until the baby's born. So
Lauren hugged my mom and told her, I'm not going anywhere. I got her, you don't have to worry, I got her. And she did. She never left my side.
As soon as I got there, I called Katie and I said, hey, just tell me what room y'all are in. I know you're not, you're in pain and everything.
He pulled in the parking lot. I'm looking out the window and I'm like, look up, because I'm going to flash the room lights to let you know which room we're in.
When the time came and it was time for Andrew to be born, we had somebody on FaceTiming him. I mean, they really did anything that they could to make it like he was there with me.
We wanted him to feel like he was in the room. We wanted him to feel like he was here with us. We wanted Katie to feel the support that she would have normally had from her husband.
Our other deliveries, we both got to, hug and kiss and smell and touch the baby. And, I felt sad that James didn't really get to do that.
Michelle and Ashley and Lauren, having them there was just, so special, and just doing everything they could for her to make sure, and the baby too, just to make sure everything went well. And when I tell my kids about this moment in history, I would just say it's all about sacrifice. Everybody's had to sacrifice during this time to get through.